Okay, we're now going to deal with the MC3 cycle. As I've already explained in the MC2 and the MC1, when a bigger cycle is up, the lower cycle high points tend to come late or on time, and the lower points will be on time or early, and vice versa. Now, you can quite simply see from this, there's a number of high points in a row, and as I said to you before with the MC1, you cannot have more than 3 MC1 high points in a row before an MC2 point must arrive, unless one of those points is an inversion point. It's exactly the same with the MC3 based against the MC2, and if you see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 highs in a row here since the main bottom, but none of these points are inversion points. So this tells us this here, the drop here, that 8 has gone lower than that 6, which means that has to be a point, so you can mark that in, but somewhere in here there has to have been another 2 points, another high and low. Again, from this here, we go up, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3 highs in a row, and then it drops and it's gone lower, so that's proved that that has to be a point, and that's valid, that's fine, because there's 3 highs in a row. So there has to be something extra, 2 more points in here, a point here, here, here and here. So those are the MC3 points, has to be. Now we're going to go into the MC3 cycle now and show you this, but unfortunately because there's so many points here, and the MC3 cycle is 4 years in length, that if I put 4 years worth on here, this is all going to squash together. So I'm going to switch now across to weekly charts, and we're going to get rid of the MC1 points and just show the MC2. Okay, I've panned out now and put it into weekly bars. As you can see here, this was a section we did a little while ago on the MC2. Now I've removed the template and put the MC3 template on instead now. Makes it clearer. As you can see, there's so many points now, it's filling the screen up, so let's remove those. To make it easy, we'll just put the MC3 on. There you go, so there's the MC3 cycle. It's 4 years in length, starting here at the red line and going up to this red line here. And the same situation as with the MC2 and the MC1, point 1 is due around the red line on all the indices. If you look here, point 1 it's saying is due here. As you can see up here, point 2 and 3 is due here, 4, 5, 6, so it's already, you can see it pretty clearly on this size cycle. Now up here, there's a 4, so obviously the 5's due, 6, and again remember the situation about the highs in a row we were talking about, and here, from this 12, there was, what, 4 highs in a row, and you can't have 4 highs in a row unless one of them is an inversion point. As you can see, none of them are, so there had to be an extra point somewhere along here. Now if you look here, there's a point 18. Now there's 18 points, if you remember, in the MC3 cycle. And the other thing you must remember about an MC3 cycle, it can invert, but if it does invert, it will only double invert. MC1 and MC2 can invert either side of point 1, or both sides of point 1, or not at all. While the MC3, it either inverts or it double inverts. So it'll either invert doubly, or it will not invert at all. So what we'll do is start putting the points in. So let's put point 1 in. Point 1. We'll put point 2 in. Should be there. And point 3. It should be here. Okay, that's pretty clear where point 4 and point 5 is. This point 6 will be up here. Now don't forget, remember, if the bigger picture above all this, so the MC4 cycle is up, which is a much bigger cycle, then highs will tend to be on time or late, and lows will be on time or early. Now where that point 4 is, it's pretty much there, so it's pretty much on time. And that 5 is normally due in the middle here, and it looks like it's come slightly early because the bigger picture is up. So I'll put those in. So that's 4 and 5 in. Now 7 is usually due just after this line, and 6 is usually due here. Now it looks like there's a high here, and then it moves all the way down to here before turning back. That's obviously point 9. So before that has to come point 8. Well, that looks like it's come right on its earliest point. So in which case 6 and 7 must be between here. Now because the cycle's up on a bigger scale, the MC4 must be up, then this point 7 should be on time or early. Now looking at this, as I say, the MC3 cycle is a much bigger 4-year length cycle. So these points have a plus or minus of a couple of months. So looking at where we are here, I suspect it's here and here. So this will probably be 0.6 and that will be 0.7 early. So I'll put those in now. Those are in. Now 10 is due in this area. Again, we're looking at this point here. Look at the highs in a row from this low. 1, 2, 3 down. It must mean a bigger cycle high is in there. Another one here. So now the market's turning back up again. So chances are 10 and 11. 11 will come early. 10 should be on time. And then this must be 0.12. Okay, those are in now. Now you can look again over this red line here. You should see a similar situation. 1, 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are due either side of a red line. So somewhere around here must be 2 and 3. Well, it looks like that is 2 and that is 3. So we'll put those in. And obviously same between red and the blue line, there's 4 and 5. So chances are that's 4 and 5 because that's where it's scheduled to be. And that will be 0.6 and then coming down to 0.7. So I'll now put those in. Okay, now there's a load more of the points are in. As you can see over here, 4, 5 and 6. Again 4, 5 and 6 just before this blue line. Now 7 here is normally due around about just after the blue line. But again, as you can see, it's come early, and that's because the bigger cycle is up. So again over here, now the cycle is down, 7's a low, so it will tend to be on time or late. As you can see where it's due on average is just after the blue line, and it's come here. Now we're going up to 0.8, that's bang on time, and now it's coming down to 0.9. Now the interesting part is here. I had 0.16, 0.17 is due around here. Now it can't be a high point because it's obviously a low point. In which case it looks like 17's in, and what's going to happen is, as I said before, one of the rules, the 18 here, if it comes early it will tend to invert. So the chances are, if that's going to come early, that can be here, this will be an inversion point. So let's put those in. Okay, 16, 17 and 18. Now this has already gone lower than the 17, so again it tells you a bigger picture is in. So that'll be the MC4 high. Now it's come down to here, so this looks like it'll be an 18 inversion, so we'll put that in. Now this is where you've got to remember the rules for the MC3. If the MC3 cycle inverts, so you get an 18 inversion, you know that it has to double invert, which means it will come up to a 0.1, and then the 1 must also then have another inversion point, because 2 has to be a high. It's a high here, it's a high here, it's always a high. So in which case we look at the area of 0.1 is due, which is here. So this must be a 0.1 and this must be a 0.1 inversion. Otherwise you see from here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 highs in a row. None of those are inversion points on these MC2, the red colours, so in which case there has to be another 2 points, so it has to be a 1 inversion. So I'll put those in. Okay, now you can see quite clearly 18, 18 inversion, 1, 1 inversion, 2. So if point 18 inverts, you know this cycle has to double invert, in which case it has to be a 1, 1 inversion, and then the 2 becomes a high again. So on the MC3 cycle, if 2 is a high, it is always a high. As I said before, once you get to point 2, it's a simple up down to the end of the series again. Right, if we look at this quite clearly, you can see from here we have a point, another low, another high, low, high, low, high, and from there to there is 4 highs in a row. We can't have that. None of those are inversion points, so you can't have that. So it has to be a bigger cycle here somewhere. So chances are the bigger cycle is from here, MC4 high, another MC4 point, then 1, 2, 3, another one here. So obviously the next one's here because this is not as low as that, so that obviously must be next to MC4. There's 1, 2, you can't again have more than 3 highs in a row, so subsequently it must be another point either there or there. Looking at it, it's probably here, and the next one will be here, followed by another 1, 2, 3 highs and another drop, so the next one is here and here. So from here to here, and from here to here, and I suspect from here to here, and then the next one will be from there to there, obviously the next one from there to here, next cycle point to there, next cycle point to there, next one to here, and again 1, 2, 3, 4 there, so there has to be something else in between as well. So we would suspect there's something else in between, but look, there is an inversion point, so it's actually there. 1, 2, 3, 4 highs in a row, because we have got an inversion point as one of these points in between. So that has to have been 4 highs in a row, so it's there. And then the last and final, we're obviously back down again. So you can see already, using the MC3, where the MC4 points are. Get rid of these lines. Take the templates off. Of course, I'll take these off for a minute. But you can see very, very clearly, it's already predefined for you, but you can either work it out using the templates, or you can, template lines, or you can actually put the entire solution on because it's already here. Now the MC4 cycle is obviously the same length in time, which is 4 physical years. But as you say, we already see where everything is. So what we'll do now is we'll put the MC4 template on and then start working out where that is.